Salam Hushamdid, it means you're welcome. This is Netcode-Hub channel. Today's video, we are going to focus on CollectionView, and we want to talk about groupings in CollectionView. So in order for us to understand this, I want us to do a mini project for this, and this will give us more insight on using CollectionView and specifically groupings in CollectionView. So we're going to create this. What you're going to do, let me give you the overview of this mini project. We are going to create our application using the coding style of MVVM, that is model view model architecture. Also, we are going to create a collection view for storing of contact, and we're going to group them contact based on the alphabet, the first letter of the name. We're going to group them. So if it is A, we have A, and we have all contact under A. If it is B, and so forth. So that's what we're going to do. Now, we are not going to get the data from the API. Rather, we are going to get the data from an SQLite. So we're going to have a database also connection in our application. So it's a mini full package, all right? It's a mini full complete. And is it complete? It won't be, because you're not going to do all the CRUD operations. If you want to have a look on all CRUD operations, I'll leave a link under the description. Check it over there. I have a video on how to perform SQL or how to perform CRUD operations on SQLite. So we have some packages that we need to install, and these are the packages. So we have to install for SQLite database, we have to install the following packages. And now for coding style, we have to install our community toolkit.mvvm. So here must be .mvvm. So this is our coding style. And other packages that we need to install, it is the MVVM helpers, Fusion component, and also .maui. That's a community toolkit.maui. So pause the video and install these packages. Okay. So first of all, let's create the project first. Then we install the packages together. So click on New Project. Okay, so now that we have the application created, you can see that I named the app as demo contact app, and it is .NET Maui application. So the next thing to do here is install the packages that we spoke about over here. So that's what you're going to do. Okay, so you can see we have the app field. We try to build it, and we have to use this Maui app. So let's go in there and I configure this we have to use Maui Connect toolkit. So let's go to the MauiProgram.cs, and in here let's specify that. So .use MauiProgram. So now let's build it again. Okay, so you can see that the project is now built. Now let's create our folders that we are going to be using for this. So let's create our view. We're going to do that in the views folder. So right click and now click on add new item, and we're going to select .NET Maui app, and I'm going to say this is home page. So once we have this, we have to create a view model. So right click on the view models folder and now add new class, and now this is going to be home page view model. So you can copy this home page view model. Let's go to the home page code behind file, and now let's bind the context so we can inject it here. So control period, let's use the reference, and now binding context. Okay. Now let's register this home page and its view model in the program.cs file. So here. Let's do same to the view. So control period, let's inject it. Okay. Now the next thing that we can do here is let's create a model for the database. So right click on the models folder, add new class, and now this is going to be contact. So this is contact, and now the contact, we want to have access to two properties. We want to have access to, that is ID. Also, we want to have name, and I want to have phone number. So let's make this integer, and now here phone number. Let's specify this as primary key. That's the first one. And the seeding here, it is, we want to say auto increment. So let's create a view so we can add contacts. So let's go to the view. Let's add a new item. .NET Maui contact XAML. Then here we are going to say, so add contact. Let's create a view model. So right click on the view models folder, add new class, and now there's going to be add contact view model. Now let's bind the context of this view model to hcode behind file. So add contact.xaml.cs file. Let's bind the context. Now after this, control period, let's include the model's reference. Now let's register it in the program.cs so we can make a copy of this. And let's paste it. So let's change this to add contact. So now here is going to be also add contact. Okay, so we have the two models created here. Now when we go to the views, you see we have add contact and we have a home page. These are the two views that we are going to be using. When they come to view models, you can see we have add contact view model and a home page view model. Let's set this home page as the startup page or the default page. So let's go to app shell. Now in here, so local, let's add .views. And we can have access to home page here. So that's a view here, that's a home page. And you can just copy this as a route to home page. Now you are done with this, we are going to create an interface that is a service to have access to a database. So we go to the services folder, right click, let's add an interface. So new item, interface, and now here is going to be iContact service. And let's create a class for implementing. And now this will be contact service. So this class is going to inherit from iContact service. Control period, we can now generate a constructor for this. Let's set this as public. We can clear this. Let's go to the interface. Let's clear this namespace. Let's set this to public. So in this interface, let's have tasks. And now this task, we want to have, let's say, int, and now that is add contact. And now this contact here, it is coming in with contact model. And now we can go in for get contact. So, and that is tags. And this is list of contacts. And that is get contact. Okay. Now let's go to the service and I implement this interface there. So control period, implement the interface. Let's create, so private void here, you want to say setup database. So this method is going to help us set up database. So let's inject SQLite async connection on top here. Let's make this private. So SQLite async connection, and you can say this is connection. Now in here, let's say if the connection, so if connection is equal to null, that is where we want to perform this. So you want to have string, that is a DB path. Database path is equal to, you can grab path dot combine. Then here you can have environment dot get folder path, and we can also have environment dot special folder dot local application data. And now let's issue the name of our database, and that is contact db3. So contact dot db3. So this is a database name. Okay. Now here you call connection, and it's equal to new SQLite async connection. We pass in the DB path. Then let's await connection dot create table async. So create table async. Then we can now pass in student. Oh, so that is going to be contact. All right. So this is going to help us create a database for us. Now let's call this method as soon as this is called in the constructor. So let's call the method here. So here we have an add and add contact. So we can use this express body method, and when you add contact in SQLite, it returns the ID. So it's an integer. So here we can say await connection dot insert async. And now with the insert async, what we are going to do here is we're going to pass in the model, and that is a contact model. And now get student 2, we can do something like, so return await connection dot table, and that is a contact table dot to list async. That is all. So we have our method here. That's our service, both the interface and the implementation class. Now we can use this. So let's go in and register this in the MauiProgram.cs. So with the service, we're going to say go down at services dot add singleton. And now let's pass in the interface, the contact service, and we call the implementation class as contact service from here. So let's go to our add contact page view model, and now here this is going to be public partial class, and it has to inherit from observable objects. So we can create constructor for this. And now let's pass in our service. So create an assign field for this. Now with this that we have here, you can see we have our contact here, and this is what we're going to do. We have to create a method as, so public async task add contact, and now here we're going to pass in the contact model. So we want to check, so if contact is null, then return. On top here, let's pass in relay command so we can have access to this command outside here. So relay command. So let's see. So in here, let's cut this from where we are. And now let's bring it here. Now let's see. Okay, so let's go to, we have a method over here, and that's an add contact. So let's call this. Now you can call the contact service. Then you can add contact, and I need to pass in the contact model or object. So let's check. So if result is greater than 0, let's pass in a width. So the results here is going to be integer, that is 1, when it is successfully added. So if it is successfully added, then let's create a method like create toast. Then we pass in some content here. So contact added. So else you want to call the same method and now pass in okay, processing your request. All right, so let's go in there and create this method. So in here, let's go to the documentation for toast. That is on this link, and let's grab this. So we're going to use Maui.alert. We create cancellation token. So let's copy this, and now let's come here and paste it here. So here we have to create this. So you can see here we are creating a cancellation token from here. Aside from that, you create this source. So this v here is going to be the test here. So we're going to say here it is v. That is a test. Aside from that, here must be an async. We create toast. You pass in the test duration here. That is a short. And so we can make this as long. Duration font size here is 14, so you can make it at 16 here. So 16 will be okay. And now you pass in here to show. So you create this method, we accept it. Now let's go in there and design the UI and call this method in it. So we go to our add contact page. So now here let's include the namespace first. So we say it is view model. So the name is demo contact add. Then we're going to have view models here. Let's specify X data type. And now we can call the view model created. And now we're going to have this add contact page view model. So the title here it is add contact. So here, let's click this label. And now when we go to SimFusion site, you can see we install the component, and when you check this, getting started for the test input layout. That is this component. First, if you want to use it, you have to install this, and that is exactly what we've done. The next thing is to use this. So let's grab this. Let's go to our project, and we go to MauiProgram.cs file. Now in here, paste this control period. So include this syncfusion.maui.core.hosting. Save that. Aside from that, we can now use this namespace. So let's grab this namespace. We go to our project, add contact page.xaml. We have to add this. Aside from that, we can now use this text box. So let's grab this. Let's go to our project here, and now we can add the text box. So let's grab this, and also let's add one here. We also add this, make it 3, because when you check our model, we have phone number, and now let's add 1. So we're going to say this is, and here is going to be, let's make it a string, and I'm going to say category. So we have category here. Now let's come here and see. So when you come to our add contact page, let's create a button. And now this button, the text here, it is add contact. So let's specify margin as 10. So margin as 5, padding as 5. Now spacing is 10. Now with this, you can talk about hint. Now hint is the first one that you want to add. You check it is name, phone number. So you want to add only 2. So add name and phone number. So here it is full name. And now here, that is phone number. So you can clear this. We have the button here. So let's save this. Let's run this and see the interface. So we have error here. Let's click on it. Home page. Let's go to the view model. Alright, so public partial class. And this must inherit from observable object. Let's create constructor. Let's save this. We can clean this one. Now let's run it again and see. Okay, so we have another problem. Let's see. So you have to take this off. I believe you saw this, right? Save this. Let's do it again. So you can see from here that we have a page running. That's a home page, and there's a welcome to.net Maui. So this is a home page. So let's add a button so we can navigate to the add contact page. So let's go to the home page, and that's going to be homepage.xaml. Now in here, let's say this is contact list, or my contact. Now let's come here and I'll add contents page. We can have 2-bar items here. Then we can grab one 2-bar item. So let's give it a name. And I'm going to say add contacts. And now for command, let's bind the view model to this. So demo contact app, we are going for view model. Let's specify data type, and that is view model. And now here, home page view model. Now let's go to home page view model and create a button. So we say public async task. So add contact. So this is public. And now let's set here as relay command. Now let's navigate. So we want to navigate to the add contact page when this button is clicked. So here we say that add contact. So that is a page. Now let's register this in the route. So let's go to solution and appshell.xaml.cs. And now here we say routing.register route. So register route. And now here we're going to pass in the route and the factory. So we're going to pass in the route. So add contact. And now the type of. And it's going to be the same, add contact. Now let's go to the home page.xaml. And now in the contact, let's bind it. So binding, then add contact. Then let's add the command to add contact command. Because this is going to be generated by the relay command attribute that is specified on top, by the MVVM. So it's going to automatically add command to it. So we need to specify the command attached to the method name that we specified in this homepage view model, this one. So we have to add command to it. And that is what we've done here at the home page. Okay, so when you save this, let's see, we have this add contact page. So if I click on this, it does navigate us to the contact page. But you see this is not going. Let's see. So let's restart this. So let's click on this add contact. Okay, so we are in. Because you're using the free one, that's why you have this Infusion license. So if you want to have the license key, you have to go to the site and register for the license free. Okay, so click on OK. And let's see if it's going to navigate us to the add contact page. We have an exception. So let's check that one out. So we go back again to the homepage view model. And now here, so that is the page that you are navigating to. And let's go back to this page. So add contact page. So let's say we specify the add contact as a view, and at the same time we are adding it as a method. So this is what you're going to do. Let's right click. So we have to rename this. So let's add page to it. So let's make it add contact page. So we go to the home page where you have this add contact page view model. Now you can see we have also this add contact here. So it is confused. Now let's check this. So let's add a page here. So add contact page. So let's grab this, paste this here. So let's rename this. Okay, so we have this add contact page. Now let's go to the XAML file, and now in here, let's paste this as the add contact page. So now when you go back to the code behind file, this error is supposed to go. It's gone now. Let's register this here. So this is the page. Let's go to the routing, and now here, page, and now page. Save this. Let's run this again. Okay, so let's click on the button. So we're able to figure out the route for this add contact. So let's go back to the home page, view model, and on this you have to add contact page. So let's paste this. Let's restart. So control period. So this is the add contact. This is the method, and that is the. So let's use views. Save this, and let's restart it. So let's click on this add contact, and now it has to navigate us to the contact page now. Okay, so let's click on the add button, and it has come to add contact page. So here we have to provide the full name and phone number only for this. Aside from that, we click on the add contact. So now let's go to the add contact view model, and now let's try to configure this button. So that's the add contact view model. So we are here. Now when you click on add button, so let's say public async task. So add new contact. Then here it is coming in with, we want to create, you first have to create a public variable for this. So let's say contact, then we say contact model. Let's assign a property, and here is going to be observable property on top. So we can have the public variable for this. Now, aside from doing this, what we can do here is, this is a constructor, so this must come out of the constructor, so it must be here, and this method is supposed to be out here. So let's paste this. So models.contact, and here we can make it as private. So private models.contact here, and then we have observable property. Okay, so here is supposed to be not this. Let's cut this, put it here, and let's cut all. It has to be in the view model. This is the code behind file. So here, so let's paste it here. So we have observable property, and now we have it for this contact model. So we can now grab this, and now down here, we even have add contact method. So we're going to call this. Now with this, we're going to pass in this contact model. So instead of passing in this, we're going to clear this, and we're going to, let's take off this, and now here will be contact model. So we can just use this to check if this contact model is now returned, else they want to do this. Okay. So now this method is going to work. So aside from that, it's supposed to tell us this. Now let's bind this. So we have let's bind this method to the add contact page. So we come here, we have added the module already. So when the button is clicked, we're going to say command, and now we're going to bind this. So binding, then add contact method. So let's save this, and now let's restart this application. So whilst it is still restarting, you can see from this entry, it did not specify the object, so the binding. So let's do it. So we have to pass in test. Then we're going to bind it to contact model, then dot, we can have name. And the next one here, test, we're going to have binding to contact model dot phone number. So what of the category, what are you going to do with it? Let's see. So let's wait for this to get refreshed, then let's see what we can do. So add contact button. Now we are into the contact page. So in here, we are going to pass in sample data here. So John and Doe. So this is John Doe must be here. And here must be phone number. So we can say, then let's click on add contact. And let's see if you're going to have the toast. If I click on it again, the toast is not popping up. Let's check it over there from this add contact page. Now we are calling this method, add contact method. Then we are checking if this is now then return else. So let's restart this to make this take effect. So let's click on it. Now let's pass in, so John Doe. So add contact. And now let's see, so add contact. Let's have a breakpoint. So this is a method. Let's hit on this and see if I click on this. Okay. Now let's check the value for this contact model. So what is it is now here. Okay, so we need to initialize it here. So let's say contact model is equal to new contact model. That's the contact. Let's save this. Now let's restart. So let's go. So here it is John Doe. And then so add contact, and you can see we have contact added. So you can see now this is working. But you can see that when you check this, the model, you can see we have category here. So what can you do with the category? Let's go to the view model. So here, this is what you're going to do. You want to grab the first character of the name that the user types into the text box. So in here, before we do that, let's specify, so car, and this is going to be first character is equal to, then you're going to specify, that is a contact model dot name. So here dot first or default. So let's get dot first or default. So let's say, so if, so here we don't have to even check for now. because it is checked here already. So now when we have this is what you want to do. Let's comment this. And now let's try to display this. So we're going to say await shell.current.display alert. And now let's pass in here. So character. And in here, you're going to specify the first character. So .toString. Then you're going to say OK. So let's run this and see if you're going to have the first character of the name that the user types. So add contact. Okay, so it is saying that. Let's do this again. So let's click on add contact. Now let's pass in the name. So John Doe. And now here I'm looking up for John Doe. So now if I type in add, you can see we have the J. So we have the first one. So this is what you want to do. Now in here, whilst you have this, we're going to assign this. So let's say contact model dot category is equal to the first character dot toString. So .toString. And even here, the first character, we can also convert this to upper. Okay, then we can now perform this. So Control K and U. So this is what we are doing. Now we first get the first character of the name, then we assign it to the category. Then we display this. So here you can just clear this off and we add it to the contact. So this contact comprises of the three properties that we created: name, phone number, and category. So we have all of them. We have their values assigned to them here. Okay. So now let's go in there and add a couple of names. So let's refresh this. So click on the add contact. So here, let's add some names here. All right, so you see contact save. So now we have added a couple of names over here. Now the next thing that we can do is we have to get the whole list from this database. And now this is what you're going to do. So inside this homepage view model, let's create a public observable object. So public, and we say observable range collection. You can say my contacts. So you can say it's equal to new. And now here, so let's have here supposed to be my contact. So my contact, that is here. And now let's edit this. So here going to be models dot contact. Now control period, let's use using demo dot models. Okay, so now we have this contact object and you can see we have my contact. So let's make it contact. Let's close this. Okay, so in here, as soon as we use this range collection, we have to use commit2k.mvvm.component model, because the one that we installed, that is the helpers, also has the same observable object. So let's be specific. So do that here. And now let's get the list. So let's have a method in this, and we're going to say get contact. So get my contact. So control period. Let's generate this method here. And now let's inject the service. So I contact service, control period. Let's assign field. Then in here, you can use results is equal to await, and that is the contact service dot get contact. And that's what we can do. If this my contact dot count is greater than 0, then we want to clear. So my contact dot clear, and here we can also check if result dot count is also greater than 0. Then this is what you want to do. You want to say my contact dot, now you can use add range, and you're going to add results. So this is what we are going to do. We add this result. So this method, as soon as the page loads, we call this method, and that is what we're going to do. It's going to call the service from here, and I'll check and assign it over here. Now let's go to this view. So that is the home page. So home page, and now let's try to have a collection view here. So let's cut this, and in here, let's have grid and row definition. Let's make it star. In that we have collection view, and on this collection view we have collection view dot item template. So in that we have data template. So in data template, let's add the models here. So X, then you're gonna say models is equal to namespace, then demo.models. So the data template, you can specify so X data type, and now we can say models and contact. So this is what we are looking up for. And now with the collection view, we can also set item source. And now this is binding, and here we have my contact, because when you check this home page view model, we have this my contact, and that is what we are using in there. Okay, now let's specify frame, and now with this frame, let's have border color, and let's have margin of, let's say 0, top is 5, 0, 0. And now in here, let's specify label, and now let's say the text of this label binding up to, then let's use category. Let's run this. So let's save this, let's restart the application and see. So we have an error here. It is saying this is not found because we have to initialize it with get and set accessors. Let's save this. Let's do it again. We also have an exception, and it's saying object reference not set to an instance of an object. Let's check our home page view model, and you know this method must call after the service has been initialized. So let's move it to down there. I think problem solved. Refresh it. Alright, so you can see that we have the page initials here. So all the names that we stored, we have the names over here, and you can see that. So we are now going to create groupings, and now try to add this model and display them here. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do here is let's close all this, and now let's stop this as well. Now let's go to models, and now let's create a model. So add a new class, and we're going to name this as contact groups or contact group. Now with this model, let's make here as public, and this contact group is going to inherit from a list of contacts. So that is what this is going to inherit from. Now, what is this list of contacts? You are referring to this contact models here. So you can make it, you can specify it as models.contact. Okay. Now the next thing that we are doing is after we create a group here, let's add the namespace. So using demo.models. Okay. And aside from doing this, the next thing we can do is in here we're going to specify. So we're going to say string, and we need to specify name. And we have our get, we have our set. And to initialize this, we have to create constructor for this. So control period. Let's generate constructor. So you see we have constructor here, and it's going to generate this for us. So you can do this, and we are getting our enumerable of this contact, and we are calling it as selection.base. So this is what we are going to do. Let's move this on top here, and now with this, let's specify string name. Then we have our list. So let's specify this as list. So a list of contacts. So that's a models.contact. Then this contact here, we call it as my contacts. So we call it as my contact, or my group contact. Let's say that. So my group contact, and here it is referring to the base of this, my group contact. So that means referring to this. So you can just copy this and I'll paste this here. Okay, and when you come here, let's specify this name equal to this name here. So now we have the group created. The next thing to do is you have to populate the group. So let's go to the main page. That's the home page view model. And now here, let's create another one. So let's copy this, and now let's paste this here. And now here we are saying that there is an observable range collection, but we are not using contacts here. We rather want to use this group contact. And now we say my group contact. So let's give it a name as my group contact. We have get and set accesses, and we assign it to the new object here. So we have this model, or we have this object container here. Now what's left here, it is to assign these the list that we have to this container. So we are going to comment this. Then I have a simple code to enable that to work. So let's comment this, and now let me just go in there and copy the code, and we talk about the code. All right, so let's paste this code here, and this is exactly what you want to do. Now you can see we have the same thing. So we are grabbing the whole contact list from the database, and that is what we are storing as result. Now aside from that, we are creating a dictionary to get the contact and group them by substring. So where we are starting from the 0, and now how many characters you want to use, that is the first character. So we are grouping them by the first character. We assign them to a dictionary by having a key and a value. You know, with the dictionary, it has a key value pair. So it is the key and that's the value. Now the key here, it is going up for the key, that is the name, the single character. Now the list is going to be for the value. So when you call the single character, that is the character, you have the list of contacts against that character. And here we are looping through them, as you can see from here, and we add to the group that we created. You can see it is very simple, just 3 lines of code, we have this implemented. So we add it over here. And now what left here is so let's terminate this. Okay, so what left here is we can actually clear this off because we don't need this anymore. You can clear this from the screen. And also, what we can do here is we are not going to use this my contact anymore, so we can also get rid of this as well. Now the next thing that we are going to have here is we can just you can simplify this like that. Let's go to the page and let's add this over there. So we go to the homepage.xml. Now here we are going to specify, you can see from here we have a collection view here. We have a collection view item template. Now on top of the item template, we can have collection view dot, you have group header template. So we have group header and group footer. So let's use the header. And now with this header, we can customize it to data template. And now let's add label. So this label, we can set the font size to 18. So font attribute to bold. Now size is, so font size, let's set this to 18. And maybe you can set text color to blue. Now let's set text. So the text here, we are going to bind this text to name. But we see we are not finding the name here. So this means that when using MVVM, you have to bind the model. So X data type, and you can talk about models as on we specify this at the namespace level. And now here we are going to use this contact. So let's specify that. Now when we come here, you can now have access to the name property. Now this name, what is it referring to? As soon as we add a group, we set this to true. Now it is referring this name to the group, let's see, the contact group name over here. So this is the one that it's referring to. Now here we made it as a private set, so it can be set within this page, and we have the group. So this name here is what we're going to use over there. And now when you go to this contact, even with this category, we're not going to use this category. So you can just get rid of this because I'm not going to use this category, but you can also leave it there. Now let's save this and now let's refresh the page and see what we have now. So it's saying my contacts cannot be found. Let's check it well. So here, instead of this, we have to use my group contact. So that's what we have to use. Alright, so you can see our page is now loaded and we are having from B. So you can see we have Benjamin, from D to Desmond, F. We have Francis and Frederick. You can see H, I, J, K. So you can see these have been arranged based on the first initials, and that is the first character here. So with this, you can still customize this a little bit. So you can see with this label, you can decide to set up margin to be 1010. So let's see how 1010 works. So if I save this, so it's going to push this, as you can see from here, and even you can even set up this, the size of this frame. So instead of having the margin of 5, you have the top of 5, and you can set up maybe the height, or the height and the other properties that you want to customize this to. Okay, so now you can see we have my contact over here. Now you can add contact. Now let's add contact and see. So we're going to add contact of B. So let's see. As soon as we add B, let's see if B is going to pop up over here. So we're going to add Beatrice, and let's add the number here. So add to contact, and now let's go back. So contact added. Now when you go back here, let's see. Okay, so you can see from here we have Benjamin. We are not having the Beatrice now, but let's refresh this and see. So you can see as soon as we refresh the page, we have Beatrice here. So what can we do? Can we refresh or call this method anytime the page appeared? Yes, we can. So let's try that. Now let's go to the home page, and that's the Solution Explorer. Now you can see from the View folder, we have a home page view here. Now in that we have the code behind file. So in here, let's override this page lifecycle. So type in override, and I can see we're gonna have on appearing. So anytime the page appeared, we want to call a method here. Now let's inject this. So control period. Let's create an assign field, and now here let's call a method. So we can talk about home page view model dot. Then we can have, let's see if we can have the method specified there. If not, so contact service, that's the home page view model. Get my contact. Let's see if we're going to see over there. So dot get. We are not seeing it. So this is what we can do. Let's go to the model, and now on top of this, let's assign relay command. So assign relay command to this, and now there's going to be command here. So let's see. Because it is private, that is why. Let's stop this. Let's set this to public, and now let's go back again to the home page. And now let's try if we can have access to it. So home page view model dot. So can we have access to get? Okay, so get my contact. We can now call this. Then we talk about dot execute. So dot, you can have execute. Get my contact. So let's call this method here and see. So we call this method. Now let's save this. And let's see. So it is asking us to restart. Yes, we're going to restart it. So when we are done, we are going to add data to see if it works. If it doesn't, then we see the other way around. So let's add contact. I click on the add contact button. So let's add the same B section. So we're going to add. Now let's add to contact. So contact added. Let's go back. And we are not seeing it still. So this is what maybe we can do. So let's go to the home page view model. And now in here, let's set this as, let's add a relay command on top here. So we're going to have get my contact command. And also, the next thing that we are going to do here is we are going to clear this result. So let's have my group contact.clear. But before we clear this, we must make sure that the results coming in, it is greater than 0. So we're going to say if result is null, then return. Else, then we are going to clear. So after clearing, then we have to prepare the new collection view again. And after having this relay command on top here, so this must be a task. And let's go to save this, and let's go to the homepage.xml.cs file. And now here, it's going to be a command. So you can decide to clear this, and you're going to find .command here, then execute, and we can pass in null. So let's save this, and now let's restart the application. So as you can see from here, we have from B up to S, and that's going to be all. So you can see we have the last one. Let's try to add some data here and see. So we have, let's try to add S data, so S name and see. So you want to add here something, then let's add the numbers here. So after that, let's make a save. Next, we have contact added from our toast. Now let's go back and see. So from S column, we have to see something. And you can see that is what we see over here. Let's add one more to maybe M. And now let's see. So go to this. Let's add one M. So that is Mavis. And now let's save. Let's go back and check for, you can see we have it over here. Okay, so that is it for this video. We've covered how to create your SQLite database, how to create your service to get database connection, and also get data from database and insert it as well. And we've learned how to integrate this MVVM architecture into our code by creating our observable objects, creating our views, and linking them together, and also grouping them as well. I'll leave this code at the GitHub, so I'll leave the link under the description, so you can just go in there and now get the code over there. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel also, share and like it as well, so that in case anytime I upload a new video, you have notification to watch it. So that is all for today. Thank you, and I'm going to catch you up in the next video.